Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 157. I didn't check again, I'm sorry. Oh, bother. It is Sunday, November 20th, 2016. It's actually 158, for the record. And I'm glad you could join me today. What would it be? It's finally fall here. Like, I decided to put some knitting on because it's like 65 out. In the afternoon. Quite amazing. So the leaves are finally starting to change here. My crepe myrtles are no longer flowering. I don't know if that puts me in a position of wanting to knit all the things. I'm not sure. I'm definitely going somewhere cold this week, so we shall see. Okay. So, I'll show you an update on my nearly finished object, because I didn't have a chance this afternoon to finish it off. But I went to the bun store yesterday, which is what have you, and I ended up selecting these buttons for the cardigan. So they are geometrical, very geometric, and then have like red and purple and yellow. And then I figured that was going to be the best option there. And then I got a statement button in bright yellow for the headband that I'm working on. So it was a pretty good trip to the button store. But what was it? It took me all of midnight to weave in all of the stinking ends. So, but I'm not quite done, because I want to redo the bind off because it's a little bit too tight. I wasn't loosey-goosey enough when I was doing it. But all of my ends are woven in now, so it's just a matter of actually just a matter of ripping out the bind off and redoing it, maybe with a bigger needle size. I have plenty of yarn. I'm not worried about that. I just want to make sure that it is appropriately loose, because the collar was laying a little bit funny and it was bothering me. So I figured that was going to be the best way to get the collar to do what I want. So I'll redo the bind off, sew off the buttons, and then it'll really actually be done. So that'd be exciting. But there is that update. So I was hoping to sew on the buttons and redo the bind off, and I ended up sleeping in a ridiculous amount today. So as such, it was beautiful sleeping in. But that decreased my knitting productivity. Like, for the record, it's like 3:20, and this is my second cup of coffee. Oh, it's silliness. So, that's doing better. What I actually have living in my knitting bag is, it looks like I started a row without finishing a row. Well, it's not the end of the world, it just makes it a little awkward to show you guys. But I am working on the Laminaria, which is an Elizabeth Freeman pattern. So we'll do something like this, lean forward. I have the camera pretty far back today. So what I showed you last week, or what was it, Monday, or I think that was Monday, was that I was nearly done with the repeat, and now I started really the next repeat. So this will be the 6th repeat of the pattern. And it is free, so I guess I can look up and see how many repeats I was intending to do anyways. There's like one actual sheet of directions. Alright. So, I'm starting the 6th, I'm supposed to make 8, and then launch into the transition chart. I can see the dark green peeking through here now, so we're coming up on a color change, so that's cool. We'll just keep on keeping on with the shawl. This is definitely getting packed and coming with me, I would say. What would it be? I would really like to finish this before Christmas, because it is actually a gift for a friend. And said friend knows that it's coming and picked out the yarn and all of that other fun stuff, so it should be good. And that's just a personal thing. And then maybe I'll figure out if I want to do anything more with the extra yarn, because it was far more yarn than I, strictly speaking, needed for the shawl. The other thing that I would like to bust a move on, and is delightfully mindless knitting, is the headband. I don't remember how much I'd had last week, but now we have more. I got my statement button for it. I tried a couple of different colors, and really the yellow I think was the nicest of the bunch. And I probably have 6 inches, and I'll probably knit to 16 on this bad boy. I'm guessing. I want some negative ease on it. I don't want it to be easy to take on and off. Well, maybe making it closer would be fine. Well, because I'm thinking I want to do a twist or a half twist in it in order to make that bow look like so. And then stick the button basically through the gathered fabric and sort of sew it in that way so everything's well attached. But I'm still a bit away from that. But this has been nice mindless knitting. So is the case where I only worked on my shawl actually yesterday. Primarily this has been what I've been pulling out to get a couple of rows on. So it's a sock analog. It's, roughly speaking, actually sock sized anyway, but it's a headband, so I'll keep on keeping. I haven't shown you the picture, but when I'm done with it, I'll show and it'll make sense. And this would probably end up getting mailed out, but I'll show it on the podcast before I mail it, because I would like, I'm assuming it's colder in Kentucky than it is here, so. Like, I'm outside in a t-shirt. I don't think it's quite that nice in Kentucky. Or what was it? I found it, like, super duper interesting, like, on Instagram, and seeing all the snow and being like, oh, we're far from snow. Snow is not come here, and likely it will take a long time before it does, if it does. So that is my knitting. As to, what would it be? Go on a trip, have a couple of vacation days, so, like, there'll be quite a lot of knitting time. But there were some things that I would like to do, which have been carried around in my bag of good intentions. This is one of them, but it's fitting. The other, I can gather all of the pieces. Ooh, a receipt from the buttons. Another one of those things is something that I've been carrying around with me for some time, which is this bright blue yarn, and I wanted to do a Bunitz pattern, I think, Into Darkness was the one I was thinking, but looks like I might have had a bead explosion here in the meantime. Which is sort of annoying, but I'll have to do a little bit of sorting, but I'm I haven't like threaded a couple and seen what it is that I think would look good. I'm definitely, the reds probably won't be, the iris blue is a definite possibility. The darker iris, probably not so much. Though the gray could be nice. But I need to contain my bead mess, I think, before I throw this onto a plane or anything like that. But that's something that I was going to do. That was also on the time scale of gifts. What would it be? That's a shawl for my other aunt, so. We shall see. It'll be pretty whenever it is done. And then the other thing that's been floating around but has received no love is my sock, which I'm probably doing the Everdeen socks. And I am no further on this sock than I was before. It's not even a real Ravelry project for me, so. But socks are super duper convenient, so it's also hanging out. I think that's everything that's rolling around in the bottom bag. But it'd be the case where I would like to start them. I've had them ready to be started for some time, and I think that sweater, I think a bunch of things have jumped, all the things I'm working on now jumped them in line. Oh well. I wasn't planning on, oh, what is it? Like, becoming Hat Factory or anything like that. So that'd be the case for, they're floating around, they're nearly ready to go. I just have to actually, whatever, do the needle clearing thing. So right now I have 2 projects again with the surprise project, so I'm betting I will, I don't know, I'm hopeful that I could finish one so I could start something else, and depending on what I feel like, what that ends up being. So on the spinning front, I made some decent progress this week. I started my, ooh, that does work though. I ended up starting the Into the World. It is a merino bamboo silk blend in the Prance colorway. So 50% merino, 25% bamboo, and 25% silk. Singles went really fast. I started them sometime midweek and finished them up this morning. Well, morning, afternoon. Pshaw. So the first half is done, and then I have the second half left to go. So this went really smooth, really quick. So I will get going on this pretty soon, grab a bobbin, get moving. I could have just showed you the bobbin too, because I finished the singles, or the first half of the singles. So, yeah, it's coming along. It's been really nice to spin. I wouldn't say this is the first time I've ever worked with bamboo, so we'll see with the finished yarn, because it obviously sort of tones down the brightness of the colors, because bamboo doesn't take dye the same way. But, yep. So, one more half to go, but I'm thinking that's looking positive. I won't be forcing myself to spin a pound in December. Now, the project that didn't get any love this week was the Pigeon Roof Studios, but, what would it be? It will be coming with me, so there is that. So we still have about the same amount. I'll just keep piling on the fiber until I can't fit any more, and we'll call it a day. But still have pretty decent sized chunk of fiber to go, and I'm spinning this end to end, and I'll decide later how it is that I'm going to apply it, if I'm going to apply it together seems plausible. Or if I'm going to Navajo ply it or something like that. But I'm just sort of letting it be an adventure. But this will be out and loose, and hopefully this will be able to get quite a lot of love, because I'm sort of hoping to, what is it? It is my intention to try to get through as much of that as possible as a Swindle project while I'm on travel. That's probably going to be the best time to work on it. So, because what would it be? Because then after that I have my 3 more spins. So, if I can finish this one, if I can finish those 2 in November, then it's not going to be too crazy, I don't think, to finish the others in December, but we shall see. Or if I decide to, like, spin the, or whatever, or just write off the last spin as a loss and not complete my bin this year. Options. So we shall see, but I'm definitely, what would it be? So my last 3 would be the Rainbow Fiber, the Nest, and the Superwash Merino Silk, and then some Merino Malabrigo Noob. So close, and the Rainbow Fiber is from Western Skynet, so close. But I was really happy with how quick and easy that spun up. I think there's just the case where my default ends up being a lovely, like, 2-ply, like, light fingering, heavy lace weight, which I do enjoy working with. So there's that. Let's see. So that'll be coming with me. I'll have to decide what other project I really want to bring with me. It's probably going to be the socks as a backup project. It certainly isn't mindless knitting, so I'll probably end up printing like a paper copy of the pattern, because right now it's on my phone and all that other fun stuff. So having a paper copy in knitting is, I think, more socially acceptable than having the pattern on the phone and checking the phone every so often to make sure you're following the right pattern. And if the pattern doesn't work with the yarn, then I will default to, what is it, my normal vanilla sock is like 2x1 ribbing. And it should be fine. It shouldn't be too crazy. But I was hoping it was, since it was all matchy enough, that it was gonna go. What would it be? So, some reknitting left to go on the Delancey cardigan. It appears that I'm going to have to do some reknitting on my mold cider. The front, or at least one of the fronts, is a different length than the other front. So, I am going to have to figure out exactly where that difference in length came from and fix it, which likely means undoing all of my seams, which is sort of frustrating. But I washed and blocked it and it looked square and fine, but just wearing it one day, it ended up one side was longer than the other, so blah. So I'll have to do some fixing on that. I want it to be right, and maybe that gives me an opportunity to actually figure out a way to actually put a liner in it, so I will have to do some consulting to try to figure out how to put a liner into the garment, but I think that would make it much more useful and wearable, because it's Shetland, it's not the softest thing ever. So I will need to take it apart and get all the pieces done. And what is unfortunate about that is I think the knit collar is the kind that you picked up. It isn't seamed on, so I might find a way to keep it, but and seam it back on, I'm not sure. I need to puzzle over it a little bit, but as such, some zhuzhing will have to occur. And I haven't, say for example, woven in my like toggle locations or particularly well woven in my toggles themselves, so there's some freedom there. But it's just whatever, crazy making. You're like, this wasn't quite what I wanted to be. So I probably just have to like sit down, get it over with fast, and go from there. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. Would be because I've left the ball of yarn on my Delancey cardigan because I know I just need to bite the bullet and get everything all smoothed out again. So we shall see. But that'll be something. I'm not going to carry all of that sweater and all of that yarn with me, just for the purpose of redoing it, so I'll probably redo that quickly while I'm still, whatever, bothered by it. So I will be able to record next week. What would it be? And if it turns out it gets a little bit delayed, then I'll do a Monday episode. Just sort of depends on the state of things, but it's looking positive for that. Stretching. So it's looking positive for recording. And what day would that end up being? Big reach. So that would probably be the 27th or the 28th. Any other things I need to share with you guys, but nothing's come to mind. I was amused by all the comments about the Dear Sweet Lovable One visiting. He's always, what would it be? He's always threatened to do something funny in the window there, but yeah. I know, this chair is a bit higher, so it'd be a little bit less subtle to do it. But seeing as this computer ends up blanking the screen so often, I might not even know. I could just be making I would be none the wiser. So I think that is everything this week. So I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.